Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your daily dose of zombies news from the game and community here on COD Zombies HQ. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Let's get right into our first story. The classified ending cutscene was finally found by the team of the Gaming Revolution, Pluto, and Dynamite. In order to achieve it, you have to get to round 150 on the map classified. Now that the main cutscene is out in the open, we can finally talk openly about the leaked audio that we heard prior to the actual cutscene being found. The main theory for that audio is this. First, there would be an ending cutscene that we had the audio to. Primus meets Ultimus. This is the ending cutscene that we got by achieving round 150. But within the leaked audio for the ending cutscene, there's audio for a second cinematic. Now, this isn't an alternate ending or something like that, but we thought this would be its own cinematic that would begin playing following the ending cutscene we saw already. But when the players reached round 150, the cutscene was over, they were returned to the game, and no second cinematic began to play. That leaves the question, what happened to the second cinematic? Now, before we discuss that, let's talk about what that cinematic actually is. I do want to thank a YouTuber named Squash Gaming for proposing this theory a few days ago. I think it's bang on, and that is this second cutscene or cinematic is going to be a Nikolai specific cinematic, setting him up as the new leader of Primus. Now, we have the actual audio for this cinematic, and I'm going to play it for you in just a second, but to give you a little bit of a primer about what it's about, this seems to be a variation of the Nikolai's Memories trailer that we got during Black Ops 3. The beginning part of the cinematic that should play in Classified in Black Ops 4, the actual lines of dialogue are the same as in the Black Ops 3 cinematic, but the performance of those lines is clearly different in the Black Ops 4 version, and then near the end of the cinematic is where we start to differentiate from the Black Ops 3 version compared to the Black Ops 4. The Black Ops 3 version continues to talk about the souls of the kids and needing to find a safe place for the kids. The Black Ops 4 version will deviate into a route where Nikolai basically says, I'm in charge, I'm taking leadership here, setting up his role in Primus and talking about knowing what he must do for the rest of the Ether DLC season here in Black Ops 4 Zombies. So let's go ahead and roll the audio for the Black Ops 4 version, then we'll discuss it in further detail.
I feel differently. For so long, we have been fighting. Many battles, many wars. Regret can consume a man so deeply that it will blacken his heart and swallow his soul. I can no longer deny the possibility of an unseen power helping us to fulfill our destiny. I will be that guiding hand.
Okay, so there you have it. Again, the leading theory is that this would have been its own cinematic that would play after the ending cutscene. Obviously, the ending cutscene was obtained. This cinematic didn't play from Primus Nikolai. That leads us to assume one of two things. One, it was cut and it was supposed to play after the ending cutscene, but for whatever reason, Treyarch decided to cut it, which, was the same thing we thought about the main ending cutscene, and that turns out to exist, so who's to say that this doesn't exist either? And secondly, the more interesting option is that this cinematic is still able to be gotten within Classified, but it's possible that it can only be gotten at an even higher round than the main ending cutscene. Now, it was leaked yesterday by some very prominent leakers within the Zombies community that in order to obtain the ending cutscene for Classified, you have to reach round 255. That's the old round cap back in Black Ops 3. It's now been lifted, I believe, to 1024, but these leakers were saying that you have to get to round 255 in order to get that cutscene to play. Obviously, when TGR and his friends reached round 150 and got the cutscene, TGR messaged the leakers and say, hey, we actually got the cutscene at round 150. The leakers' response was, well, at launch, we know it was for sure 255. maybe Treyarch changed it. And maybe that's the case, but it's also possible that there are two different rounds that trigger cutscenes within Classified. The first is round 150 that would trigger the main ending cutscene, and then was the original proposed round of 255 that we could assume would trigger the leaked Nikolai cinematic. It seems very likely to me where the ending cutscene itself is rendered in-game live in real time, and by the way, I'm happy that we actually got the ending cutscene room right that we predicted earlier within Classified. We got it bang on. That's exactly the room they're using for the ending cutscene. It seems like the audio quality is significantly higher within the Nikolai cinematic audio. It seems more likely to me that this Nikolai cinematic will be pre-rendered, as in it won't be done in real time. It's going to be pre-rendered with audio triggers coded into the actual video to start those actual clips that we found. Thus, it'll look a lot more polished and more like regular Zombies gameplay trailers that you can see kind of like here, rather than the traditional cutscene style, which is a little bit lower quality considering it's all done rendered in-game. Now, if this Primus Nikolai ending cinematic is going to be triggered at round 255, it's going to be one heck of a risky journey to get there. The only way the ending cutscene is able to be achieved right now within Classified is using a custom mutations glitch that enables Easter eggs to be done within Zombies maps. You try to do that cutscene, get to round 150 in a normal regular Zombies game, the odds of you blue screening, never mind dying before you get to that point, is exceptionally high. However, if you do the custom mutations glitch, you can set it so that it only spawns dogs into the map. You can then give those dogs super small health and super small damage to you, meaning you can progress through the rounds much quicker than usual, thus reducing your chance of crashing significantly. If 255 is going to be reached, that's the only way I see it being done. Now, before we begin wrapping up the show, I think it's important to kind of state right now in the Zombies community, a lot of people are going to be angry at Treyarch for making the main Easter egg for Classified only achievable at round 150 and maybe beyond, and as well just angry in general that the only way to get it is by using glitches to obtain that round. I understand your anger, I understand your frustration, but at least from my perspective, it seems reasonable to be angry at Treyarch for making the cutscene at an extremely high round for no reason, but it's not reasonable for you to be angry at the people that achieved it using glitches, because that's the only way we can do it right now. By making the cutscene attainable at an insanely high round, Treyarch was asking for this cutscene to be solved using the easiest and best methods to get there, which in this case is using a glitch. They should have saw that coming, and at least for me, my philosophy with Zombies is do everything in your power to get Easter eggs solved. That means community effort, that means sharing information, if that means some people leaking vague details about how to achieve it, if that means some glitchers using tactics they found to go further in the rounds than anywhere else. The ultimate beauty of Zombies in my eyes is that there is a cacophony, a large variety of ways to play the game and approach the Easter eggs and mysteries within the mode. I personally enjoy watching and seeing all these methods and different approaches that separate sections of the community take to solve Easter eggs within Zombies games. The very concept of Easter eggs is a battle between us the gamers and Treyarch the developers, where they try to hide things as best they can and we try to find them. It seems only reasonable that in that game of hide and seek, you use every weapon, every skill you have in your community, your team available in order to find the hider, and that's exactly what the community's done here. Good on them. But if the Nikolai cinematic is anything to go of, we aren't done yet. There's still more to be found in Classified if this thing is achievable in-game. Because I, for one, can't wait to see where they're going with the character of Primus Nikolai in the rest of the Black Ops 4 Zombies DLC season. But that wraps up the show today, guys. I want to thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, be sure to tippity tap that thumbs up button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I want to give a huge shout out to everybody in the notification squad with that bell icon turned on. You guys are awesome. But I want to thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you with another Zombies news video tomorrow. Peace.